much for coming for the first event we're having at Croydon Town Hall for Asian businesses. And we have lots of people from all over the world. I didn't know we have people from Sudan even here, from North London, Saudi Arabia even. Yes. And we've got a good friend of ours from Pakistan as well, who is actually lives in Tarbaka, has been there for many, many years, and his family, and we're very pleased that he loves Pakistan. He's a Hindu as well, all his family are Hindu, and they can't praise Pakistan enough for what happened. So I'm going to ask you to say a few words. So all I want to say is welcome to everyone to this very first event where Councillor Bernadette Khan, who is now Mayor of Croydon, very kindly offered to host this event for us. So we're very fortunate to have such a mayor who's very, very proactive. And she herself has lived in Pakistan for many years, and her husband obviously is of Pakistan descent, Qayyum Saab, which is he's a fantastic man, I must say that, he's very, very fantastic. He's a Pakka Pakistani. Oh, she can speak Urdu and Punjabi, so we care what to say. So she's saying he's a Pakka Pakistani. We have Rayan from Rayan Taylor, who will help sponsor this event, and also Rayan Bank. And we very kindly CTAC people are here today to tell you all about Guada. So without further ado, let me start. So if I can hand over to you, sir. Are you doing this talk? Oh, where you are, sorry. So, and I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and then they're going to talk, and then inshallah I'll say a thank you at the end.
Thank you for that, Tamking Riaz. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, respected guests, respected mayor. Thank you very much for allowing us to host this evening here at the town hall, and thank you all of you for making the time this evening to be here with us. As per Islamic traditions, I would like to invite Mufti Yusuf Danka to come and recite a few verses of the Holy Quran, and then we'll begin the proceedings for this evening. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون والله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم.
Thank you very much, Mufti Saab, for a heartwarming recitation there. Thank you. So this event, being a third event in the series of the community events which were set up by Community Business Network by Mr. Amin Shishti from Farani Tailors, Fawad Awan from Rayan Bank, and Mr. Asif from Peace Gardens, Eternal Gardens. And this event basically it's been arranged for the purposes of getting the local community together and getting the Muslim businesses together from around the UK and talking about what they do in the community to make a difference. And no better person to start the evening off than our mayor here today, Mayor Khan. And she has served almost lifelong community service for the locals here. And she's in the best position to come up and talk to us about what she has done for the community and how all of us, the young of today, those who are in a position to give back to the community, can do something for the community to make sure that we propel the community higher and higher. So I would ask Mayor Bernadette Khan to come and say a few words.
I have to say that I was brought up Catholic, right? And the nuns, I was educated by the nuns. Some of you probably were, because in Pakistan there were many convent schools that girls went to. And the nuns drove very hard on the message of, you mustn't boast, you mustn't talk about, you know, what you do or what you don't do, because they considered it not acceptable. So I grew up in that culture, in that tradition. I had an aunt who was a nun, I had a great aunt who was a nun, and it was a very Catholic family upbringing, which is wonderful because I ended up marrying a Muslim. But let me say that it is a great honour and privilege to have you all here this evening, promoting business, promoting the well-being of our communities, investing economically and socially in our borough. And, you know, in the world as we have it today, there are measures of insecurity, but I believe very firmly that we will overcome and we will face any of the challenges that we meet in terms of growing our prosperity, in terms of having our children seek the best of education, the best of training. We have many growing entrepreneurs amongst the young who want to aspire to their aspirations. And when we come together as a community, there is nothing better, because when communities come together, I've said this many times, everybody's a winner. And you as a community have a history of entrepreneurship. Look what you've done in our communities. You've worked in our hospitals, doctors, nurses. We've worked in our schools, teachers. You've worked, and many of you do a form of voluntary work in your community, promoting the community, and promoting the well-being of our elderly too. So we have really a good role model here for our children to inherit. I think also it's extremely important that any child needs to know who they are, why they are, and what they are. So to understand their cultural heritage is also very, very important. We need to grow our children in a manner where they have a sense of pride about their cultural heritage. And the community does very well on this front, because there's always events put together for an expression of culture that all our children enjoy. And it has permeated, indeed, in our family, because we have a wonderful granddaughter, Hannah, who picked up from a very early age that she enjoyed classical Indian dance, and she performs it very beautifully. And her mother has done a wonderful job in having her understand not just the movement, but what's the story behind the movement. So she's been well versed in her cultural heritage. So I really don't want to say much more because long speeches are often sometimes get boring, but I want to say that I am delighted to have stopped the trend here where the Pakistani community comes together, networks, and strengthens the community. Thank you very much indeed for hosting this event this evening. Now, I won't be very good at announcing the name, but it's the bank, which is Hull. What does it mean actually? There you are. And then your legal firm, Quran Teller. So can I say, Board Shukriya to you both this evening for making this event possible and hosting it. Thank you.
Now, as this is a networking event as well, I don't think you want to hear too many speeches, but you only have 3. But there are some people who said, look, they'd like to stand up and have an elevator pitch. Now, if you don't know what an elevator pitch is, it's as if you were in an elevator with someone you didn't know and they wanted to tell you what they did. So they've got between 30 seconds to 1 or 2 minutes to let you know what they do. So, shall I start in the front row? Anyone want to do an elevator pitch so that everyone in the room knows? Okay, we have one person here, and then we'll go along, yeah, front row, second row. I'm sure everyone doesn't want to do it, but please, 30 seconds to a minute. Okay. So this is Sammy Hegab from Egypt.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Tamking Riaz and the organisers for inviting me to the event. A bit about myself, like you said, I'm originally from Egypt. I've got a business in Glasgow, an IT consultancy business, as well as I'm a private investor, predominantly in the oil and gas and mining industry. We're actually just partnering up with another organisation, the Arab and African Mining. We're organising a massive event for mining companies, especially in Africa and the Middle East. So if anyone wants to find out information about that, please do get in touch with me. I'll be around networking with everyone. And thank you very much. Don't want to take too much time. Thank you.
Right, so anyone else from here? Oh, sister, come please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to everybody, Madam Mayor, the distinguished guests, my brothers and sisters. We are here to make this event stronger, richer, and more certain a way healthier. And we are very encouraged to have Bernadette Khan with us this evening. And more than that, we are having our Urdu poetry mushaira end of June. And we also want to start once a month Urdu poetry mushaira, and I would love to have your cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was nice short. Anyone from here before I move on? Okay. Oh, move a bit of Thai up, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tahir Beg from Beg Williamson and Company. We are a firm of chartered certified accountants. I'm not here really to promote my firm. I thought I'd just mention the name. Anyway, the good news is that now we are in the new tax year. Can somebody tell me when it started?
Yes.
5th of April.
5th of April.
April the 5th. No, you failed. It's actually 6th of April. So we are in tax year 2019-20. And the good news is each one of you is entitled to earn certain amount of profits or income before you pay any tax. Anyone can answer that question? MashaAllah, somebody's on speed here. I don't mean the drug is up to date. Yes, it's £12,500 each. But you know, a lot of our clients, when we're doing their figure work, we find that They have been taking a salary, or they've got enough profits, yeah? But they've forgotten that they are either married or they have a spouse, or they've got children who are working for them. And you know, if you lose your allowance, you won't get it back. This is a bit of tax planning. What I would say is, do take these things seriously. You can minimize your tax legally. I'm not talking of Shabazz Sharif or Dar Saab here. Yeah? I'm talking of legal ways to minimize your tax liabilities. And for that, obviously, you would need an expert. Doesn't have to be me. You can have your own accountants. But do consult your accountants on a regular basis. All of us, we want to be in business, we want to succeed, we want to maximize our earnings, but you are able to do that in a tax-efficient way. And for that, you need to be consulting your advisors on a regular basis. Jazakallah, thank you for listening up to me. Jazakallah, assalamu alaikum.
That was very good advice. Just a quick question. 4 wives, so is it £12,000 per wife and myself, or is that... Just a quick question.
I knew Tamking Riaz, of course, is a very good Muslim, and just like any good Muslims, they should have 4 wives. In that case, I'm a bad Muslim. I just managed to have 1 wife. To answer your question, in fact, that was the first question I asked my tutors when I first came into this country. That, you know, this would minimize my tax. Obviously, 4 wives and myself, you multiply the allowance, 12,500 times 4, that's about £50,000, plus 12,500 for yourself, that's £62,500 tax-free. Unfortunately, in this country, you are only officially allowed to have 1 wife. So you know, and that allowance these days, by the way, is not transferable. There is something called a married couples allowance, but that gets a bit more technical. So to answer your question, Tamking Riaz Saab, you will just have to manage with 1 wife.
Thank you. So, anyone else on the front row? Then I want some ladies, please. Business ladies, or if you are a volunteer doing anything. Anyone else on the front row? Ladies first. So any more ladies? Look, I've got to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, ladies, please. Come, sister.
Can I come and stand up there with you?
Mary will stand up with you. Come on, who wants to go? We have some ladies.
There must be amongst you some women who are out in the work environment or doing something voluntarily in the community. Can we hear that story? Come on, don't be shy about it. I'll come and stand up there with you. Come on.
Come on, young lady. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. I know you want to come. Come. No.
The lady behind. The lady behind. Come on.
Come on, well done.
Oh, we'll do it together. We'll do it together. No. We'll do it together. Come on. One more. Come on. One more. Come on. Show them what we're made of. You next. Tell us a little bit about how you spend your day, right? Doing whatever you're doing.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good evening. I spend my day, actually I have a small business which I cater for the community, and this Muslim clothing. There was a market in it because the young girls, they couldn't find a smaller boutique where a lady was personal serving and could help them and guide them. New Muslims, lots of new Muslims who are revert, they come to me and I help them a lot. Also, I have a lot of help for children who are into care in Croydon. So I sort of help them with their schooling, fostering. so many boys and girls. Thank you.
Let me just share with you, as you've raised the issue of fostering, I too, Karen and I were foster parents for quite some years. And I'll tell you what happened to me today. I answered the phone this morning in my home, and it was a lady on the other end, and she said, "Can I speak to Mrs. Khan?" And because her ID number was blocked out on the phone, I thought, oh, who is this person? Right? Because people either ask for me as Bernadette, they generally don't ask for me as Mrs. Khan. So I thought, oh. So I then asked her, could she say a little about what she wanted to talk about? And she said, oh, it goes back a long way. And then the phone cut out. And so the phone rang again. And here she was back on the line. And I said to her, yes, so you want to talk about something a long time ago? Because I was thinking, oh my God, my memory made it go back a long time ago. And she then declared that she was my foster daughter, that I had not seen for 33 years. And she said that she had heard through a friend in Wallington about Raheem's death. That was my son. And of course they had grown up together. So I'm just telling you, because these are the experiences as a foster parent that you can have. And so we're now going to meet up and we're going to catch up. But I just wanted to share that with you as a foster mother.
Many stories about children who I have looked after.
Yes.
Especially children who have ended up with education at big gift.
Well, there you are. Can we give, what did Naveed? Can we give Naveed a big thank you? Now we have Aisha. Aisha, can you tell us a little about what you do in your role as wife, mother, whatever, right? And how you spend your day?
Thank you very much all. Aziz, I've been a resident of Croydon since 79. Been working as an serving banking for over 30 years. I've retired now. But my town has always been with helping young from the Persian community, and always, sort of in the community, head of quite a lot, because being of the elders now in that sense, and always there, with family and friends, always helping out, and sort of meeting, greeting. I'm a grandmother, so I do look after my grandkids as well. I've got 2 kids that people don't know. But it's a very diverse, useful area, diverse community. But we do mix with each other and make the best of what we have in Croydon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We give both the ladies a round of applause for the contribution they make to life in the community.
We'll just take 1 or 2 more, then we have a talk, then we'll ask a few more to come up, then we'll have a talk, and then we'll ask a few. Is that okay? Then we'll break it up. Anyone else from the front row before I go to the second row? Yes, sir?
Thank you. Assalamualaikum, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Tamking Khan and Madam Khan Barinder. I appreciate your invitation. On your behalf, Mr. Tamking invited to me. You said that we are organized this program to bring together different communities. I am working with the same spirit. I published this newspaper, Masjid News. It is the title about the Islam, but The purpose is to bring all other religions, Parsi, Hindus, Christians, Jews, all other Buddhists, etc.,